Welcome to the People Chronicles. I'm Jackie Hoffman. The People Chronicles gives you a platform of telling your story and gives you a voice. So we welcome all of you. If you have a story to share with us, we would love to hear more about you and more about your story to share with others. Today, we are joined with Bill Thomas. Thanks for coming along, Bill.
Thanks, Jackie.
And you're going to tell us a little bit about your background, what it is you do, where you got your start, how you ended up here. We have a lot of unanswered questions for our viewers and also our listeners. So first of all, we ask the same question each and every time, and that is, what would you like our listeners to learn from your story today?
I think just to, if they have a dream, pursue it, follow it, and go out and do it. Just don't sit back and think you can't do it.
It's as simple as that, short and sweet. We like it that way. It's easy to remember, and it takes a lot of energy to get to that specific, follow your dream, go for it, and get it. How did you find the energy, and where did you learn to come up with the answers to that dream of yours?
Well, I think the hardest thing for some people, or most people I would imagine, is just having the dream or having a dream. I mean, I felt lucky just to have the brick that hit me on the head that turned into the idea of Bills Khakis. I felt lucky just to have the thought or idea, an inclination to go out and try to do something about it. Originally, I found a pair of World War II khakis at an Army surplus store down the road from where I was going to college in rural Ohio, and they turned out to be the best pair of khakis that I had ever owned. So when I compared them to what the other khakis I had, everything else was pretty much not made very well compared to this old original World War II pair. So it kind of struck me that this was a product category that didn't have, not only didn't really have a brand that people recognized for being the best pair of khakis money could buy, but there was also very little product. Their companies weren't taking a quality craft approach to the category like they were possibly in other clothing categories like shoes or whatever. But it was a white space. It was a category without a brand, and a very large product category that I felt that if I could go out and make a pair of khakis just as good as that original pair of World War II khakis, there was a business to be had.
But this wasn't something that you had in the back of your mind in high school. It didn't creep up until you were in college, until you found this when you were in high school. Mm-hmm. What kind of leadership skills did you have then, or what kind of route did you see on your map down the path?
Well, I don't know about my leadership skills. I probably more inclined to at the time, especially to do something by myself rather than to get with a group of people. So I would be more inclined to take on a project that I could, start and follow up with and just go with, more than I'm probably more that personality type than I am to see an existing situation and say get in there and help help that group of people, guide them to whatever the end in mind is. So I was probably more like the guy who wanted to go out and do it on his own originally, and that's the way it all started. Now, it's not like that today. I mean, it takes a great team, and we certainly have one at Bills Khakis, and you have to understand your place on that team, what your roles are, and what your skills lend themselves. I mean, how you can be of best use to that company, in this case, our company.
And that's really important for a lot of our younger listeners to hear you say that, because they do have in the back of their mind a certain angle that they want to go and what route that they want to take in their life. So mm-hmm. It's good to know that once you're in college, you don't have to know what it is that you're going to do if you're a sophomore, junior, senior in high school. The dream may come a little bit later on in life for some people. For me, at 45, sometimes I still wake up and say, I know my true dream is coming to be on stage in Hollywood someday, right? But Bill, now that you have Bill Khakis, it's huge. It's everywhere. People want to know, especially me, how you have grown, where it has come from point A to point B. There had to have been that, of course, your dream that you followed, and it all paid off. But where did all of that come from? How did it grow? Where did you graduate from college? Now what?
Well, it starts with one pair at a time, to be honest with you. One pair, one customer at a time. And that's the way I started. I mean, I started from scratch, and took a whole bunch of part-time jobs to make ends meet, and it was really an organic beginning, trunk of the car stuff. And you make some khakis and you go out and sell them, and every dollar you make on those you put back into your tin can, and you go out and you make more, and you just keep building on that, and one customer at a time.
So what was it like for you to think about, oh no, what if this doesn't work out, or what if somebody doesn't like it, or did you just erase
nothing
all
to
of
lose? You're starting at zero. You can't when you start at zero, you can't. I guess you have at risk the money that you've laid out to start, which mainly is in inventory or in making product, buying fabric, getting them made, and all of that kind of stuff. But there's not. You kind of look at that and you say, well, I want to go out and I want to do this. I always thought that there was a great brand wrapped up in that pair of khakis, and it was maybe even a little bit less about the khakis than it was about what they represented, which was sort of an American touchstone. It was something. It just had all the right values, and I think that we as consumers like to find product that we identify with at some level greater than just what it is. I mean, greater than just, well, in this case, it's a pair of pants. It's a pair of khaki pants, and you wear them, you use them, they serve you well, and you wear them out, and you hopefully come back to the same company and get exactly what you had before. But it also represents something a little bit greater than that. There's sort of apple pie and Americana in the pockets,
Right.
And that's really what turned me on about it, is what that brand represented.
Sure. Made in America means everything to everyone. And the fact that you have this great product, and when you say that they're an expensive pair of pants, give us an example.
Well, they start at $145. I mean, you could buy 3 pairs of adequate khaki pants for the price of $145. But at the end of the day, what most men do is they buy 2 or 3 pairs of khakis and end up wearing one that they really like, and then the other 2 kind of get thrown in the back in the closet, and they never get worn. And so that's kind of wasted. That's a wasted effort sitting back there. But you can also then come back and get the same pair again and know what you're getting. And I'd like to say that they will last you longer. I can't show you a study that necessarily can prove that, but we have enough customers that. Tens of thousands of customers that will tell us, well, your product lasts longer. I know exactly what I may get. I wear every pair out. I get my money's worth, and I come back without hassle, and I know where to go to get my next pair. So the value is more than just, dollars. I mean, it also feels great that you're supporting, an American job, or a lot of American jobs, really. So if you're in a position to be able to afford that price, and I know that is a high price, we're pretty confident that our product stacks up as well as just about any made anywhere.
When you say tens of thousands of customers, it certainly makes you feel good. And now the question that everybody wants to know, and myself, how do you find those customers? Is it word of mouth? Is it, where do you find the people to just share the word, spread the word? This is what we do.
Well, in the beginning, I just said, I'd find events. I'd go to events and set up at like a Devon Horse Show, or where they have sort of a group of retailers that you can kind of do a pop-up shop, is the popular term for it, and you can put up your shop and you can sell to people, and you get customers. And beyond that, it's today it's really a mix of both through the retailers we sell throughout the country, who are independent specialty stores. So consumers are introduced to our product via those retailers, as well as our catalog and our website. And driving traffic to the website is it's more science than art. In terms of how to build web traffic, how to promote yourself, and it's fairly. We've been selling direct to consumer since the beginning of our company, but we're just over the last couple of years really sort of taking on that effort with a more scientific approach and a more determined effort. So it's a pretty complicated yet simple exercise.
Very simple to
Yeah.
you, maybe. But
Yeah.
when we come back, we're going to find out from Bill Thomas from Bills Khakis a little bit about what it's like when you wake up in the morning. Do you look back and look at those little shows that you set up at? Do you actually say to yourself, yeah, this is where I am now, and that's where I was then? And we're also going to find out where you get your support from, or where you got your support from when everything kicked off and started, and a little bit more about what you do in our community when we come back on the People Chronicles.